growth hackers, a role that in itself has been growing in popularity, primarily because of its association with being one of the main contributors of the exponential growth that some of these multi-billion-dollar unicorn companies have seen. Growth hackers are the new cool kids in Silicon Valley, and I think they deserve it because being a growth hacker requires a diverse and very valuable set of skills. These skills are extremely valuable to startups, businesses, and in pretty much any entrepreneurial context. If you get creative and really focus in on these skills, they will definitely help you get to your goals faster and will help you tap into that exponential growth that growth hackers achieve. So now let's talk about these growth hacker skills that have helped founders go from scraping pennies, bootstrapping their startup, to that billion-dollar exit we read about online. What's going on, guys? JP here with another BizRich video. So today we are going to talk about the skills that are required to be successful as a growth hacker. And honestly, as I mentioned earlier, these skills are actually really valuable to anyone involved in some kind of entrepreneurial venture. So maybe personally you don't want to be a growth hacker, but still take mental notes because the skills and the train of thought that growth hackers have to have can be applied to a variety of situations, and knowing this stuff can also help you when you're like sourcing talent for, developing your team or building out your team. So definitely make note of the skills and concepts I'm talking about in this video. And if you're new to the channel, I'm always talking about business and money, so make sure to hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss a video. As I mentioned earlier, growth hackers have to have a diverse set of skills to be successful. And don't worry, while growth hackers are expected to have a breadth of knowledge of the areas within marketing and product development, it's pretty widely accepted for them to only be experts within one specific area. Obviously, still knowing enough about the other areas of the marketing and product development is important so you can come up with creative ideas and then just hire people or contract people to actually execute on these very specific tasks within that plan that you devised. So I've seen a few different kind of charts or diagrams for growth hacker skill sets, and I think they illustrate this point really well, where you have to have like a breadth of knowledge, then you typically have like a deep knowledge or deep expertise within a specific area. I don't agree with these 100%. For me, the skills I think that are most important for growth hackers that every growth hacker has to have are these. First of all, a growth mindset or growth mentality, and this really isn't even a skill, so sorry, but you have to have like this mentality of 1 + 1 = 10, meaning your proportion of work or effort or capital, whatever resources you're putting in, that has to equal exponential returns. Next would have to be creativity. So basically, you just really have to be creative to be able to achieve these like exponential returns. Like if there's something like a growth technique that becomes standard practice, then it becomes saturated and it's no longer a growth hack. So you have to really have this like creativity and that kind of mindset to like think outside the box of like, how can I achieve these disproportionate returns? Also, you have to have this mindset of like constantly testing and optimizing and getting information back. And this leads me to my second point, which is data analytics. Every growth hacker has to know something about capturing data and how to interpret that data and make decisions based on that. And next thing that I think is foundational to pretty much every growth hacker is just knowledge of available channels, like marketing channels. If you don't know of various channels, then you're extremely limited in what you can actually do. Like obviously there's a lot of creativity that can be applied within one specific channel, whether it be like social media or even just like even more narrow like Facebook, but you have to know about all these other ones that exist and the ins and outs of them and how other people are getting results on them. Yeah, so just knowing what opportunities lie out there. And as I said, you really have to have a breadth of knowledge of like a lot of different stuff because there's so much to cover as far as like specific skill sets. I chose to put this in the context of a customer journey. So we're gonna have like this marketing aspect or marketing side of the funnel where we have awareness, consideration, and the conversion or acquisition of that customer. So on this side, so I mentioned marketing channels again because it's very valuable for you to really know very specific techniques on these specific channels, whether it be like SEO or SEM or maybe it's like Facebook. Maybe you're really good at the ads. Maybe you're really good at organic reach. But just basically knowing and being really good at certain channels or whatever channel you choose, that's extremely valuable as a growth hacker. And this kind of ties into viral marketing. I've talked about this so much, and I will drill it into your brain. You have to think viral. And in a marketing context, it's really based on like shares. So how can you get someone to share? Maybe it's a piece of content, maybe it's an offer, you know, a really good offer. Somehow it's packaged to where like people have to share for them to opt into this offer. You know, another thing you have to think of is scalability. So marketing automation is a very important skill or very valuable skill within the growth hacker toolbox. Next, copywriting. I'm gonna actually couple this with visual design, persuasive copywriting and visual design. So definitely a valuable skill set, definitely something to have in your growth hacker toolbox. Next, coding. Coding kind of bridges the gap between marketing and product development. It can definitely be applied to both areas. The way I'm going to talk about it in marketing is when it's, you know, part of that marketing funnel. A lot of people talk about this growth hack where Airbnb utilized the audience on Craigslist. But there was a lot of things they did on Craigslist that involved coding, but were really part of this marketing funnel, and blurred the line between like marketing and their product offering. So next we're gonna go into like that product development side. This is a different part of the customer journey where we have like the service or the core offering, the core experience that your customer is getting, as well as this loyalty and retention aspect. Key skills for a growth hacker here are, again, coding, as I said, UX, UI. I see this as one where you're like really focusing on optimizing your testing, different variations of your product offering, trying to give the best experience, but also the one that captures the most amount of value. And then also getting people to take the actions you want them to take. Maybe you're on a freemium model and you want someone to opt into that paid or premium subscription. You know, so you need to fully optimize your offering to where you can get them to subscribe to this premium version. Also, within like the context of referrals, you're gonna need to, one, know how to incentivize that, but also design the platform or your offering to where this referral is converting as much as possible. All right, so basically, let's go to this last section, which is like, I'm gonna call it honorable mentions. So the first honorable mention is psychology or behavioral psychology. So this is you being able to know how people work, that way you can get them to do what you want. Like gamification, right? Psychologically proven to have, you know, employees work better, have people feel kind of valued as customers if they're giving you stuff for free. Like in the context of that app Gas Buddy, where people were updating gas prices and they weren't getting paid, but they started having like leaderboards and giving people acknowledgement for actually putting the effort in to actually update Gas Buddy's, you know, database. That's another thing that like really taps into this like psychological aspect. And so it can be super valuable. Again, I want to stress, you don't have to be an expert at all of these skills. You just have to know enough about them to where you can bring in experts or bring in people to execute on these specific tasks and this vision that you have and plan for achieving this exponential growth. So don't worry, keep practicing, keep gaining knowledge, and guys, if there's anything you want to see in the next video, if there's anything you want to know more about, let me know in the comments. Also, let me know if there's something I didn't cover. Maybe there's something you think is extremely valuable to growth hackers, skill set that they should have, and yeah, let the people know we're here. We're a team, and yeah, that is it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.